got the Soul Bigfoot out here today. My brother was in town, so I figured I'd do a little walkthrough on this boat. Obviously, I'm not gonna be paddling this thing, but I think I could fit in there like in a fetal position, maybe. It's a pretty big boat, but it actually looks really good. This is the first time I've seen one in person. Looks very playful overall. So I'll just go over this boat real quick here. I'm not an expert on this thing by any means. I'll show you the specs on the screen. I'll tell you about them in a second also. It's got that standard Soul drain plug in the front. I know Wade loves that. All the Soul handles are really nice though. This is kind of like hard, smooth plastic. Feels really good in your hands. You can get a nice grip on it, which is nice. The boat itself looks good, like all the texturing and stuff. You know, I always like the way a boat looks. That looks good there. This is kind of just like a little sticker thingamajig. I would rather have a actual handle here, but I know it's kind of more of a play design. It's not necessarily meant to be like creaking and stuff, so I kind of get that, but I do like a full handle more for strapping on the boat than anything. Really nice, like, I like these little fine details here. You know, the bolt, kind of where the bolts fit in and stuff are really nice. It looks probably, I would say, extra large skirt if you're gonna paddle this boat. For the cockpit, comes in nice here. Nice lip for the skirt to grab on for sure. That's really good. It's kind of better than I've seen in most boats there. That's pretty cool. I'll come back to the outfitting. Nice handle here. Another sticker. You know, this could be a little nicer, molded in, etc. Nice grab handle on the back as well. The tail looks awesome too. It's kind of a little neat design. Looks kind of like a fish tail. Got some texturing here. Cool color. I don't know what this color is called, but there's all sorts of colors that this boat comes in, I know. So just coming back to the outfitting here, this is something that, I don't know, personal opinion, it could be left to be desired here. So when this boat comes stock, you'll see it just comes with this seat pan here and this little pad. And my brother's close to 280, 300. You know, they don't need this little tiny pad. A bigger person, they should have a nice comfortable pad to sit in. Plus you sit down way low in the boat. So he added this Sweet Cheeks here 200, which looks to be pretty much where it should be factory in my opinion. Again, the hip pads are a little shicey for a bigger person. I would kind of bulk those up a little more. And the back band is okay, you know. I like these little carabiner ideas and stuff. This looks to be nice ratcheting system. I kind of like the cam straps here. And a lot of I actually do like all these kind of cords to hold your stuff. Not a lot of boats have all these different options to hold things, so that's kind of cool. And I do like the little balls on the end of the pull foot thing. That's a little interesting too. I actually haven't seen that, but I think just this area, if you would have worked on this area, everything else is pretty legitimate. Like, these are really stiff. They don't have much flex to them, which is nice. They do have padding under here, but my brother had to take them out for his legs. But the padding over here feels good. You can kind of see. He does put a nice block in right here on the sides so the seat doesn't move. Also nice. Some boats don't come with those. So there's some pros and cons here with the outfitting, but I think he just could have done something with the seat, like had something like this kind of stock to fit in there. Or, you know, the skipper has the nice foam block here that looks like this. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure why that didn't come with this boat, especially for a bigger person. My brother's got some airbags in here, but foam pillar in the back. So again, overall, it's not terrible by any means, but it is a kind of expensive boat, so I think you should have that seat taken care of for that. But just moving on to the actual like bow, kind of round, kind of squared off, but I'm sure this thing surfs really well. It's got a decent amount of kind of rocker on it for surfing. It's got a nice rail that comes all the way down to the tip of the bow there, and I'll flip it over here in a second. But yeah, kind of soft-ish sidewall. You know, it's not straight down by any means. It rounds off, so that's nice too. Probably good for stability and being on edge. And it's got a decent amount of stern rocker too. I have to look back at my phone here on the statistics or the stats, but let's see. So I think it's got tail rocker, says 9 inches. That's a pretty decent amount. So that's a more progressive design there. It gives you that downriver ability, but also it's kind of scooped out for that playability. The nose rocker, he says, has 13 inches, which, yeah, I'll believe that too. It looks like it's got a decent amount of rocker, so it probably skips over some holes nicely. Volume is 87 gallons. You probably can't tell by the video. And when it's on a car, it doesn't look that big, but stepping behind it here, It's very, very wide across there, and so it's 29 inches width-wise, which is not terrible for a huge boat. And then length, we're looking at 8 foot. So that's kind of some of the stats there. So I'll flip this thing over. Got a pretty cool looking hull on it, really. It's got this little thing here where it's supposed to engage when you're surfing, kind of lean back like a surfboard and let that catch, so you can kind of just stay on plane like that. Really flat planing hull. I mean, this thing is flat, boy, all the way across. Probably surfs like a dream. Probably not the greatest on Southeast Mink, but it's probably a surfing machine for sure. Really hard carved in chines, edges. Again, nice for surfing and playboating. It looks like a really good hull. If this was a smaller boat, I think I'd dig it, honestly. It's got the place for that little wheel. That's where the wheel goes. And the bow, again, really plain still surface here with the edges going all the way up to the bow. Looks really nice. I actually really like this hull. I'd like to see it on a smaller version maybe. But yeah, it's cool. Super flat. Look at that thing. All the way across. All right, cool. Well, Rob, you got anything to say about the boat?
It's really great for bigger people. Like, I'm really glad Corin decided to go forward with this, because there's not really many boats for people over 250 pounds. So this boat, it says it could go up to 300. I think you could really go probably up to 320. That'd probably be like the max for this, but you wouldn't want to be doing like class 4 or 5 stuff. You know, but I think you could still get in it and paddle it and have fun with it at that size. For me, I'm a pretty big dude. I thought I was on the bigger end of this, but like Matt was saying with the seat, I feel like the seat, you're sitting way too low in it. I had to add the Sweet Cheeks 2.0, and this is a pretty thick, pretty thick pad. And for me being as big as I am and having to add that much, it was kind of I think a misstep. They should have done a little bit more for the seat. But he does have another option now. He did make a bigger version of his power seat. It's called the Thunder seat, that you can replace it. You can I think it's like $150 or $200. You can put it in there and swap it out. So there's another option, and that's supposed to be a little bit better. But I think for ease, this works pretty well for what it is, and gets you the right height and where you need to be at in the boat. It did make it a lot harder to roll when you're sitting lower in the boat like that, because it's so wide. But with this added in there, is a lot better. One thing Matt missed too, this is the paddle holder.
Oh, yeah, that's the paddle holder. That is not the watershed, it's the paddle holder.
So if you're in a creek or something and you got to get out, you always have trouble holding your paddle. Your paddle, you can stick it on there and hold your paddle. You should put your skirt on and not lose your paddle while you're getting in the boat, which is pretty nice.
That's pretty cool. I do like that. Yeah, so I thought that was maybe meant to, if the water comes at your bow here and the water kind of, I bet it does work in that way, but yeah, it's more for a hold of your paddle, which is nice. Say especially if you're like filming or something like I do, and you need a place to put your paddle while you're getting all your stuff in your boat. That's pretty neat. How's the foot room? For Rob has like what, a 15?
I have size 15 feet. Basically, it's plenty of room. I can wear my Astrals in there. I do have the bulkhead pushed all the way back. I can't pull it forward anymore with shoes on, but it fits me fine. Another thing with the bulkhead too is it has the cleat system in there, but he actually has pins. He doesn't send them with the boat, but he has pins you can put in there to lock the bulkhead in place. So if you don't like having to use the cleat system, you can actually get some pins and put them in there and lock the bulkhead in place so it doesn't move on you. Because I personally do not like cleat systems as a bigger person, because you start throwing around 250, 300 pounds and they just don't work like they're supposed to. So I prefer having a more fixed system. So for me, right now, since I'm as big as I am, I just leave it pushed all the way forward, and it works fine for me, and I don't have to worry about it. But if you are shorter, I think the pins might be a better option for some people. But overall, I really love the whole design is fantastic. There was a couple, like I said, a couple little small details with the outfitting that were an issue, I think, but the rest of the boat is awesome. It goes down river well, it surfs well, it plays well, it's easy to get vertical. I can't flat water it or anything, but a little bit of an eddy line, you can get it vertical pretty easy. But it does surf very well. It feels a little bit like you're paddling a spud boat because of the short front end on it. It doesn't feel like you're paddling like a rewind or something like that. It's a little bit shorter, but it is very, very good on a surf wave. For me, it's what I was looking for like a all-around downriver type of play boat where I can run bigger stuff in it and still have fun while I'm doing it and not be uncomfortable.
One thing I meant to point out, I'm not a huge fan of these bolts sticking out here. Just another minor detail in my opinion, but yeah, like Rob said, this is in my opinion, I haven't seen another boat for bigger people, bigger folk that, you know, would probably be pretty comfortable, and you can just, you know, if you're not paddling class 5 or whatever, it's gonna do fine and be like kind of a play river, more like a kind of like a firecracker or something like that for a bigger person. So yeah, I mean, and Soul's also got really nice plastic, I have to say. Solid plastic. My biggest pet peeve on Soul is just the outfitting, but hey, do little modifications here. It is a very niche boat, meaning there's no other really big boats out. So hats off for Corn for doing a boat, you know, for people that, you know, they probably won't sell a whole lot because it's a very small percentage of larger folk in that range with big feet or just weight. It looks awesome. Like I said, the hull looks really good, and super impressed with the actual design. So maybe if you just, from now on, maybe you can throw in that new seat with this or something like that. Not a lot of people sell Soul, so hit up Festive Water, Tim Brenner. I know he's got some of those in stock still. Sam Boggin, if you're interested in. Oh yeah, should get Rob to get in here for you. There you go. Rob's a big dude, big feet. You wouldn't know that we're brothers because I weigh like 150 and I'm 5'8", and Rob's like 6'3" or something.
But plenty of room, you know. I'm pretty tight and engaged in there with the back band tight. Loosen it up and I can get my knee out and still got enough room to relax. But I do have the bulkhead pushed all the way forward. Super tight, very comfortable.
You can tell it's a loose hole by sliding down the driveway. All right, now I'm gonna get in here, see what it looks like with shoes on. Careful, don't break your neck. Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, so this is what a 150-pound person looks like. I mean, I could still paddle it probably, and I could probably roll it, but honestly, if I had some hip pads in here, I might even be able to stern squirt it. I need some serious help where the thigh hooks are though. Look at it, look at the little chicken legs. Yeah, I mean, if I had the bulkhead up and stuff, I could like make myself fit in here. It doesn't feel overly large, to be honest with you. It's pretty funny though, yeah. So if you're 150 and just want a boat to paddle around a lake, there you go. All right, we'll see you on the next one.